So guys, welcome back to another Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented. So nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo lahat sa pagsuporta ng aking channel, lalo sa mga dati ko pang gameplay ng Fatal Frame. So pagpatuloy natin itong gameplay natin ng Fatal Frame. So let's fucking do this, guys. So guys, welcome back to another Fatal Frame 3, The Tormented. So last time ay ginamit natin si Kei. Oh. I hear something. It seems to be coming from inside the roof. Oh. Hinako. Actually, nakapikit ako. Oh my. Ano yun? A dream. Tingnan nga ulit tayo. There's a storage room in the ceiling of the closet. I can get up there if I move away the ceiling board. There is something on the floor. Spirit stone radio. It looks like an old radio. Is this the radio I dreamed about last night? There's a book up here that seems to go with the radio. Radio transmissions. As mentioned previously, occultist Yuu Asou has actively appropriated Western craft with the goal of explicating ancient Japanese belief in and legends of the other world. It is said he finally was able to establish communication with the other world. The first example of this is the other world's crystal radio signal. Receive okay sa 2, yung Crimson Butterflies, otherwise known as the Spirit Stone Radio. The Spirit Stone Radio. Spirit Stone was a name his colleagues used later in Dr. Asou's research materials. It is usually simply referred to as the crystal. The principle of the crystal radio is that it's utilized the special wave detection property of crystal to pick up the appropriate band of wavelength. Also focus on the fact that stones have been known from ancient times to carry occult properties. If he could find a special crystal, he thought perhaps he could capture signals from the other world. It is said his experiment was a success, and the records note that he was able to capture sound at a range outside that of normal broadcasting. And the documentation of the sounds have been lost, but Asou's associates left behind several testimonials saying they heard words of the past and words of ghosts. Okay. The old radio. Yuu Asou, a scholar of the occult who lived in the second half of the 19th century. His research, known as mystical science, attempted to use modern Western technology to explain all Japanese folk beliefs about the other world. The first of his experiments to bear fruit was the spirit stone radio used in Crimson Butterfly. This used crystal radio technology and was able to receive supernatural sounds that normally could not be detected. The product of his research, the camera obscura, the spirit stone radio, and the projector, were much sought after by enthusiasts after his death and were soon scattered all over the country. The old radio. An old radio that was in the loft about his room. According to an old book left in the same place, it's a crystal radio made by Professor Yuu Asou for communicating with the other world. A reaction with a special crystal makes it possible to hear words spoken in the past and the voices of ghosts. Also, could there be some connection with Yuu's family? Yuu Asou. Baka meron na dyan. Ayun na ngayon binasa natin. So, punta muna tayo option. System. The dream I had yesterday. Okay.
Rei? What's the matter? Rei? Here.
Here you go, Rei. I thought this might have some connection to that photo of the passage key. Bird mummies. It has been reported that in process of rebuilding Kyouka temple, which commenced last month, many mummies have been found in the walls of the hallway. In the walls of the area called the Shadow Hallway in Kyouka temple, they were stained in the shape of humans. But when that hallway was restored, someone noticed there was something like the root of a tree coming out of the wall. Digging out, it's turned out to be a mummy. In the other stained areas, many more mummies were found and quite a commotion was raised. The Kyouka temple insists they are enshrined saints, but certain observers argue that they may have been killed in sacrifice. Human columns. Okay, Ray, thanks. I just borrowed this for a bit. You added the newspaper article about the bird mummies to your file. Here you go, Ray. I thought this might have something to do with the photo of the tomb. Okay. Many bones found in ruins. On the 8th, in the survey of an ancient castle. Castle ruins in the northern parts of the prefectures, a large number of human bones were discovered in the ground. Stacked tombstones were excavated from the center of the castle, an area thought to be the courtyard. Bone after bone was discovered beneath them. All bones are thought to be from the time the castle was built. The burial clothes seems to indicate they are from laborers who built the castle. It is believed they were buried after the castle's completion to protect the plan of the castle or the location of treasures. Or perhaps those who built the castle were killed as a sacrifice. Thanks, I hold on to it for a bit. Okay? I researched the abandoned house we covered. Here, why don't you take a look, okay? Coverage of the abandoned house. Below is summary of what a newspaper reporter told me about the coverage of the abandoned house. I didn't have time before, so please take this as a reference. 1. History of the manor. They say there were several villages around the manor until the 1900s, but today only the abandoned house remains. Even the landowner does not know when or why it was built. Now only the area around the entrance is left, but originally it was a huge manor, deep and strangely shaped. It seems on old maps a shrine is occasionally drawn in, but now there is not so much as a trace of it, and not much is known about it. But on the outlying mountains, it seems a myth-like story is told that is connected to the other world. 2. The rumor of the ghost manor may be due to the myth, but since long ago, the abandoned house has been called the ghost manor. Many people visit it just because of that rumor. The rumor is that you can meet the dead of the manor, and further that the dead you meet will summon you to the other world. The rumor's origins are said to be incenses that were held in a shrine there, but that's merely a rumor too. In any case, I think the story of the mountains connected to the other world is the source of the rumor. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Hey, about the photo of the doll on the skewer, I wasn't able to find anything on it. I thought it may be similar to the legends of the straw dolls passed on in Tono. Anyway, it has nothing to do with folklore, so you might find something in one of these books. Thanks, I go take a look.
If you need anything else, just let me know.
In the bookshop is a book of cuties that Amakura wrote about in his letter. The camera obscura is a device used to capture the other world, made by oculist Yuu Asou from the late 1990s to the early 20th century. He tried to communicate with it and get proof of this other world. The term occultist refers to people involved in the movement to verify Eastern thought using contemporary Western technology. Yuu Asou is a prime example of such occultist. The camera obscura was one of his sequentially experiment. He modified the at the time still rare camera by adding a special lens and film. It was supposed to capture unbelievable things normally invisible to the naked eye, like a so-called different phase interval and spirit and ghost. There are several rare nowadays, but apparently their cameras are still traded among curio dealers. Most have been broken, and we have lost the chance to see the other world, as well as Asou's achievements for eternity. Camera obscura. After you have received new information, you may find relative okay. In the bookshelf, there's a book with a projector similar to the one you photographed in the mansion. The spirit ball, the device shown here, was left by Yuu Asou. He used it to substantiate the existence of and communicate with the spirit ball. He was a brilliant scientist and philosopher, and by appropriating Western culture in the late 19th century. Okay, he combined new technology with his theory on the spirit world to prove its existence. They said a few of his devices were able to capture an unbelievable existence from the spirit world. But posthumously, from that singular beginning, his devices became a fashion item among delegates and were scattered about the country. One such device is this projector. Having completed the experimental stage of the camera obscura, a camera that photographs the other world. See above, he created a screen upon which to projects the special images captured on the film. The records say that images were projected that could not be seen when they were photographed. Dami naman. Skewered Dolls. In many regions, particularly in the mountains areas, there remains a folk practice of dressing up dolls. They make the straw, earth, or slot and worshipping them as idols. The doll in the picture was reported by an Iwate resident. It was called Kushimi, and when someone dies in the village, they weave the hair of the deceased into the straw and have it wear his or her kimono. A doll is fixed onto skewers and put before a shrine at the edge of the mountain. The doll is enshrined for up to 1 month after the death, and after that period passes, it is cast into the river behind the shrine together with various offerings. In this region's tradition, there is said to be a cave in the mountain connecting to the land of the gods. The dead who became Kushimi stand between the village and the mountains. They take upon the village bell and head to the land of the gods. In a neighboring village, there is said to be a similar doll called Iguchi, but this one is the spirit of the person who died young and has defied the mountains. In one interpretation, both village and mountains have a protective deity standing in the border between people and gods. In another sense, burdening the dead with bibel or defying the spirit of the young in the mountains connotes human sacrifice. Okay. Ako nga pala yung notes tayo. Human columns. The amount of graves in the courtyard inside the manor. In the ruins of an old castle, the bones of people thought to have worked on the construction were found under a mound. Shrine carpenters were buried alive as sacrifices. Did the same thing happen to there? The abandoned house. Miku tells me the house I went to is famous for being haunted. They say it's a place where people can meet the dead, and that the dead lure people into the other world. The words have stayed in my mind. What if you really is there inside that manor calling out to me? What will I do? Human shape stays. Sacred rope was hung along the narrow corridor behind the door, where I hear there's mourning, and the walls were covered in black human-shaped stains. There was a similar stain left behind after Yoshino Takegawa went missing. I read it in one of the papers about mummified bodies being discovered behind the same kinds of stains. The Skewered Dolls. Inside the manor, in a courtyard surrounded by a corridor, was a tree wrapped with a cricket rope. Around it stood straw dolls skewered on sticks. According to an old book on photo, the practice belongs to an old folk cult. The dolls stood at the border between the mountains, defined and the village human, functioning as protective deities or amulets. What is there in that yard beyond the door? Camera obscura. An old camera called the Camera Obscura. It was designed by a man with the same surname as Yuu Asou to photograph images of spirit and ghosts. But what was the camera doing inside the manor? On the projector. An old projector from the house I saw in my dream. It was developed by Kunihiko Asou, who lived in the second half of the 19th century. Uses the technology of the camera obscura to show supernatural images from another plane that can be played on a normal equipment. Okay, so matulog na tayo. Sayang tayo ng oras, may 15 minutes ata tayo nagbasa. Ayan, squeeze into the corner, okay. Oh. Hour 6. The sacrificial pillar. Oh. Okay. Ito muna. Oh, an image of something has been caught on the photo. Punta tayo dito.
Still not enough. Please forgive me.
Piece of wood drop in cloth has been tied with sucker rope to the tree in the middle of the courtyard. It looks like the Kurosawa for some kind has been written in the tiny scribble over the cloth. The straw dolls impaled on bamboo stake all around the tree seemed to moan in the wind. It's not enough, said the man who stood here. But it's not enough. So, punta tayo dito. Na yung pagnaso na yan, napakaingay. Herbal medicine. Okay.
Get back! Stay away!
Oh. The door is shut tight. It feels like someone is pushing against it from the other side. The blood stain on the floor continues under the door. Oh. Hindi yan. Diretso. is reflecting lights from inside the pool of blood behind the chest. Okay. Projector yan. Samba. Tayo. Oh, wala. Biglang wala. Oh.
Secret dies with me.
Dito. Oh. Nako. Oh! 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 Oh, shit! Ano ba? Tayo. Oh! Nakita ko doon. Okay, herbal medicine.
For the Kuze shrine.
Oh!
The tattoo of pain.
Okay. When building or repairing the Kuze shrine in the last passage, all the carpenters of the Moriya family except for their leader must be prepared to stay behind, never to return, including one who exceeds in their craft. All the carpenters must be fulfill their duty to protect the secrets of the shrine by being buried as the sacrificial pillars lining it. The remaining Moriya carpenters must become the master builder, ensure that the craft is carried on to the next generation. Okay. Human color sa men in white, at saka na yung babasahin. Oh, baka bantay na naman yung isang babae dito. Saan na natin? Oh! Kaya na siya. So guys, hanggang dito na lang muna tayo. So nagpapasalamat sa inyo lahat sa pagsuporta ng aking channel, lalo sa mga dati ko pang gameplay ng Fatal Frame. So thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Peace out.